Freddie Kissoon show. Bring it!
Let me ask you this question. I would like to ask the AG to propose legislation for what we call
Freddie Kissoon show. Bring it!
Let me ask you this question. I would like to ask the AG to propose legislation for what we call small claims court. There are lots of poor people, for an example you just gave, that they have issues with others and sometimes with large firms, but the lawyer fee is greater than the fee you're claiming.
It is their
right.
Unlike the right that someone has, all our rights exist in context.
What is the context of a second medical opinion?
Because you're disrespecting the process.
No.
Jesus, this is common sense, man.
Any situation which you seem that you're just dealing with Afro-Guyanese issues. You're just dealing with Afro-Guyanese issues. If one, you can't bring and pull the leaders of the African community together, you're failing. And if two, you can't put forward a vision, a blueprint, and a plan for African Guyanese, you're failing as well.
Good evening. This is the Monday edition, the call-in edition of the Freddie Kissoon Show with co-host Leonard Craig. We go until 10 o'clock, so please call us and inform us about things that are happening in and around Guyana, in and around the region, in and around the world. Let us know what you know and your interpretation of things. It's been 3 years, 6 months. We've been having these call-ins, and I can tell you, I can speak for Craig and Leonard Gildari. We have learned a lot about people on these call-in programs. Some people are very stupid. Some people are very enlightened. Some people are very caring. And I make no apologies for saying some people are stupid, because that's the reality of the world. You will see tonight before we leave at 10, some people call in and just say, who's critic? They have nothing to do. They're just stupid people. And then there are people who call in and advise the government on some of the mistakes in engineering of their contractors. People talk about the qualities of Irfan Ali. So call in at 676-3681. That's a WhatsApp number of Leonard Craig. The phones take precedence over our commentary. And until the phone rings, we'll have our preliminary discussion. I start with Terence Campbell. Why Campbell? Because Campbell is the parliamentary leader of the PNC. That's a huge important job. Make no mistake. The opposition people that sit in parliament have power. You cannot confirm a judge or a police commissioner unless the opposition leader says so. The opposition sits on the Public Accounts Committee, so they know every cent that is spent. They know what is going on. So he's the parliamentary leader of the PNC. And this guy is very disappointing, extremely disappointing. He comes across as a thug, a goon, but most of all, he comes across as a man full of ego.
Yeah.
You know what I saw Terence Campbell did, and I'll come to why I'm starting with him. I saw a posting by Terence Campbell. And when I look at this thing, I said, this guy shouldn't be in politics. Where the hell Nigel Hughes found him from? Where the hell Aubrey Norton found him from? Aubrey, you know. He posted a Facebook image of himself in a three-piece suit sitting down in a chair, and he looks quite dapper. But that was not all. He compared the clothes Leonard Craig is wearing, and I think it's Will Johnson. He compare himself, how he's dressed with his three-piece suit, and say, this is who I am. So he's actually saying then, I am somebody because of how I look, and not Craig and Will Johnson. And when I look at that thing, I studied every book Sigmund Freud wrote. I had to do that at university. We had to read Sigmund Freud. We had to study Freud. I did my schoolwork on Freud. And when I saw that, I know that was Freud inside his Freudian mind. You know, he thinks that in his head there's something short, and so he makes up for it by projecting himself on the stage. Is this the man that the AFC, particularly Nigel Hughes, was recommending that AFC and the PNC come together with him as a presidential candidate? Nigel Hughes said that. Every time Terence Campbell opened his mouth, there's no intellectual courtesy. There's no class.
Yeah.
There's just class.
He's
He abuses people. Now let me tell Terence Campbell something. I don't know, but no doctor, and he got some doctor before his name. I don't know doctor in what and how he got it. I can tell you what the universities I've been to, but I don't want to be like Campbell and say what I did and what I've been to. You don't do those things. Let me tell Campbell something. Now in a million years, he would not achieve the erudition, the sagacity, the intellectual depth of Anil Nandlal. We in these small countries don't like to project ourselves on the world stage. But you know how many people in Jamaica, Guyana, India, Botswana are better on the world stage, and so many that we see on CNN and we read in Time magazine. Anil Nandlal is one of the best lawyers in the world. You put Anil Nandlal in a European court or a US court, and he will spend the whole day, the night to the morning, he's going to go to court, and he's going to read those books and interpret it and perform credibly as any lawyer anywhere in the world. I taught Anil Nandlal, and he just stood out in the class. And I said, Guyana is going to hear about this boy. He was just outstanding in classes. He did the first course in philosophy with me, and he was just outstanding in his understanding of Plato and Aristotle. And so the Attorney General Nandlal did show where Campbell wanted to make an amendment to the National Resource Fund, and his amendment was nonsense. And Campbell replied, and instead of dealing with the man intellectually, the man is stupid, the man's a dunce, you know how educated I am, he's not more educated than Anil Nandlal. And so today, Craig did a column on the crassness of Terence Campbell. You should read it. Craig does a Monday column on the Chronicle. And you know what I did when I saw how Campbell, the things Campbell was saying, that puts him in the category of a Sherrod Duncan and a Rick Football? I wrote a column about 2 weeks ago saying, I now see why Norton chose this man. Yeah. Because Norton chose himself.
Yeah.
Norton said, this my boy.
In fact, one shade worse than
Norton said, this my boy. He gonna abuse you, yeah. He gonna be gutter with you. I want that guy in Parliament. And everybody was thinking, but you know who lost out there? I don't know if he lost out, but Nigel Hughes. Nigel carries himself well. Nigel speaks well. Nigel is a well-behaved man. Ideologically, he may, like all of us, he may be rough ideologically. The best educated of us are rough ideologically. I mean, you have those European leaders. the Italian Prime Minister is just a crass ideological woman. But they carry themselves, nicely with etiquette. And Nigel is one of those. And Nigel recommended Terence Campbell to be the likely president of Guyana. You ever hear of an Ali calling people stupid and dunce? And this man is a parliamentary leader. And he has a doctorate behind his name. I asked Craig, what is a doctorate in? If it's business, I hope he owes me $800. And I wrote a column saying I want it. His corn at his business place is $980. And banks there, each corn is far better, and it's $160. And up to now, the man hasn't
leave out the business part.
Well, he's not a doctor in business.
I don't know. I really don't know. I don't know.
You expect this man to take on Anil Nandlal head on? He's a dunce. You know how much books I have? Oh, no. Campbell. Go away. Take your exit. You're not good for this new generation. Campbell, leave. People that enter politics do not behave like that. How much books you buy, how much books you... That's stupidity. You don't behave like that. West Indian politicians don't say about how much education and books they read. They don't. They fight intellectually.
Yeah.
Fight Terence Campbell. Fight Don Craig. Reply to me. Reply to Nandlal. And use your learning. Use your training. Talk about the misunderstanding of theory. Talk about the superficiality of intellect. But don't call nobody dunce. And how books you read.
Not how much books you read, how many books he bought.
He bought.
It's two different things.
Yes. He said how many books he bought.
He bought. So at a pricely sum.
So Campbell, you're trying to tell people that you got a big library, but how many of those books you read?
And how many? And now how many? And not only how many you read, how many you understood.
When you open yourself to abuse when you telling people you got a library full of books and you talk nonsense every day, the people say you learn anything from those books?
Freddie, as a younger person than Campbell, I was disappointed, like extremely disappointed. I mean, I was disappointed before the elections how he was how he was attacking people. Hey, good evening.
Good evening, sir.
Hey.
I saw something on the news. One girl, she called for the ambulance in Georgetown, and they told her they only have one ambulance. How many ambulances in Georgetown they have?
It got to be more than one.
I think I can assure you it's more than one. But I don't know why she was told that. But
that's troubling, man.
Sir, let me say this though. I am a bit hesitant to just regurgitate what I hear on Facebook.
Yeah.
People
talk a lot of nonsense, sir. You gotta be careful.
I would be extremely careful with that.
No, the ministry of health got more than one.
I might take it with a little grain of salt if I hear it on a news organization that actually fact-checked it and then report it. But somebody just posting on Facebook and then those propaganda news places just repost it, I would be careful. I would be very, very careful. But I hear you. I did not see the post, but I hear what you're saying, and it's worth asking around about, and it's worth checking out.
Yes,
okay?
You should check.
Thanks for coming through. Oh, you got something else?
One more thing.
Yeah.
One more thing. This Terence Campbell guy.
Yeah.
What is it with the VAT that he got written off?
No, be careful, sir.
No. It's a fact and it's a public record, Freddie.
No, it wasn't in the public domain.
Yeah, it is public record.
Somebody.
A letter was leaked that GRA sent to him, and he never denied it. But I'm not gonna go to specifics, but the general thing is this. I will explain to you how GRA works. Now, GRA, the commissioner of GRA, has the power to do what you call debt forgiveness, right? So if you owe taxes to GRA, GRA has a daily interest, and they have some other fees that you got to pay on whatever you owe. So on a daily basis, every day, like they got a yearly interest, and then they divide it by the number of days. So every day that you don't pay taxes that you owe to GRA, there's an interest. And the commissioner has the power to do what you call debt forgiveness or debt write-off. And if you present good and cogent reasons to the satisfaction of the commissioner, most times what GRA would do is ensure you pay your taxes and give you a debt forgiveness on the interest, or write off the interest once you pay the whole tax. Also, another thing GRA has power to do is to allow you to pay the taxes you owe in parts. You can sign an agreement with GRA, say I acknowledge my debt and I'm going to pay it in 4 parts over a 6 months period. So GRA has the power to do all of that. And apparently, Mr. Campbell collects VAT on behalf of the state, because this is how VAT works. With VAT, if you collect VAT, you are become You are a VAT agency, and you don't own the VAT money you collect. Right? So if I make out an invoice to you and it for $200 and $20 is VAT, and you pay that to me, as a collection agency. It should not go into my bank account. It should go temporarily, of course, into my bank account. And I think there's a 30-day period which you got paid over to the government.
So there's a loophole there.
So no, not really. It isn't a loophole, really. It is normal thing that GRA is empowered to do. But where the problem comes in, and this is not about Terence Campbell necessarily, I'm just explaining to you what GRA does.
Yeah. So
what happens and why GRA has to charge an interest is because when you collect all this money, GRA money, your collection agency, you're not supposed to be using it. And if you keep all this money over 6 months, 7 months, a year, 2 years, and you're reinvesting this money in your business, it's like you're using the Guyanese people's money, reinvesting it into your business, and so on. And then you go to GRA, and then you say to GRA, man, business ain't good, things ain't good, I ain't got the money to pay you. Please give me a debt forgiveness. I can pay all the thing I owe, but all the interest, wipe it off for me, please, I'm begging you. It's like if you were in the US, you would file for bankruptcy. But Guyana don't have
I know that. Yeah.
the exact bankruptcy laws.
Yeah.
But that is the route that we use here in Guyana. We find a good reason to tell GRA why we can't afford it. And then GRA would go through whatever process they go through and then come back to you and say, okay, you owe us 1,000, pay us 500.
Okay.
Right? And essentially that is what it is. And you can make your own analysis of that.
Yeah, why I brought it up is because he wants to run the parliament for the opposition, and he's doing these rackets,
No. We got to disassociate ourselves from that word racket.
Right.
Please withdraw it, sir.
just be careful with the words you use. Don't call it a racket.
It's not a racket, sir.
It is grounded in our financial and tax laws. But the problem that we are when I highlighted that several times, the problem when I highlight that is not the forgiveness of the debt or anything like that. That is totally legal. It is the moral position that you want to sit on a moral high stool and judge people who have not the amount of interest and so on and other charges that were forgiven to Campbell is hundreds of millions of dollars. And you know,
man, it can't be hundreds.
Yeah, man, over $200 million. And
sure you know what you're talking about before I disassociate myself.
And all I am saying to you is that those monies,
in that vicinity,
yes, in those money could be used to build houses for people and and all those kinds of things. It is the moral position, not the legal position. The legal position, I don't want to speak of it. All I know of is that the laws of Guyana allow for it. And Campbell and many others would have used those laws to the best of their and their accountant's ability. They would have used those laws. So it's nothing illegal. My problem with it is the moral position.
Well, I know the thing was leaked to the press, but I didn't know it was a large amount.
With the Mohammeds and Campbell, they're two different entities.
As far as I know, their information available to the public, yes, it's different.
It's two entities.
Totally, I don't know of any association between any entity association or direct business association. I don't know of any between Campbell and the Mohammeds. I can't. If I say I know, I'll be lying.
The situation in court with the Mohammeds.
Yeah, it's different. The Campbell's situation cannot be taken to court. It's a legal exchange between Campbell and GRA. It was just leaked to the public, but it's a legal position. The commissioner of GRA is entitled to do that, and Campbell is entitled to ask for the relief. Under the law.
Keep a check on their ambulance for me. That's really, really.
I will look into it.
Thanks a lot.
Yeah. Thanks for coming.
Okay, bye.
As we were on Campbell, and we are on Campbell, when I saw him with that three-piece suit and said, "This is who I am," and then he has you and Will Johnson in normal clothes. You know what I think Campbell is going to say in the coming week?
I don't know to wear suits.
No. He's going to say something much more dangerous than that. And it's coming. He's going to say, you know what? I am better looking than him. He's going to say that. He's going to put a Facebook say he's better looking than somebody.
No, but that is what the post means anyway.
Somebody's going to irritate him in Parliament, and he's going to put a post saying, "Look at me and look at him."
Yeah, no, that's what the post means. That he is fine-tuned, that he is clean cut, and he is refined. And the people used to use this word a lot in Guyana. I don't hear it a lot these days. He highfalutin.
Yeah. But that's a legal grammatical term, highfalutin.
Yeah, but I'm saying I don't hear it much these days.
Yeah.
And I think that is what he's trying to project. And he's trying to say other people because Ruel's hairstyle or whatever.
Ruel's hairstyle is universal.
Basically, Campbell got a hairstyle similar to Ruel Johnson.
Billionaire, you gotta call.
Get a hairstyle similar to Ruel. So I don't know what's the issue here. Good evening. You're onto the program.
Hi. Good night. A few weeks ago, I raised an issue with you, and you promised to look into it.
Yeah, tell me.
It was a situation whereby I'm overseas, and I was trying to uplift my NIS one-off payment through a process of authorizing someone down there to uplift the check, and was told by NIS that the check would be made payable to that person, and you had promised to
All right. So what I understand, I didn't investigate it by your issue by name, by your name and all of that, because I don't think I have that information. But
No,
generally
it's a
speaking,
general.
the person who advised me at NIS said it is not necessary it will go in that person's name.
I see.
It will go in your name. And the better way to go would be a power of attorney, even if it is specific to that thing rather than an authorization.
Okay. Another thing, I was trying to explain on your program when asked how I'm going to cash the check.
Yeah, well, you will have to work that out. I don't know.
No.
Uh-huh.
That is not what I'm getting at.
Mm-hmm.
But when I explained that the check could be cleared over here through the clearinghouse, man, I was slaughtered on that program.
But sir,
hold one sec.
Hold on.
Last week, I heard you, Mr. Kissoon, discussing how the bank charges, I don't know if it's the ATM charges or what, how it would be cleared through the clearinghouse down there, right in Guyana, right? Those are local bank charges I'm referring to. Now, people called in, they said the clearinghouse doesn't exist anymore, this, that. One man even called in and said he would write me a check for the amount.
All right. Let me just interject here quickly.
Go ahead.
Clearinghouse is a term people use in business and finance and economics.
Right.
But clearinghouse, the way you interpreted it on that call-in program does not exist. The way you interpret
it
it.
does. I can send
And
you the link. I can send you the link.
And clearinghouse.
I can send you a link.
Hold on. And clearinghouse is these days is a universal term for any central location that processes things, and it doesn't have to be in finance or anything.
Of course,
right?
That's correct.
A central entity that processes things. So that is why I was explaining last week that Visa, the company Visa, the cash payment processing company, acts as a clearinghouse for Visa transfers between Guyana and the rest of the world and banks from one bank to the next. It's not that Guyana has a clearinghouse.
I see.
So the concept of clearinghouse in this case was different from what you were talking about. You were explaining that there's a physical... Anyway, I don't think we should go back into that, but I hear what you're saying. Whenever you are issued... once you qualify for the payout at NIS, and you're issued your check, it is up to you how you are able to cash it after that. I think the NIS would have discharged its responsibility after issuing you the check.
But listen, sir, when we have these calls, people would normally talk to us the next day. And I was told that you can actually get your money from NIS into the US, but you have to give the... This is what I was told, that that the NIS does it all the time. They put money into a foreign account from people that they're paying. That's what I was told, and I don't know if somebody spoke to me after the next day after your call and said NIS is pay people money overseas. So I don't know I'm not familiar with the check the person has to uplift on your behalf.
right.
But I was told that NIS pays overseas Guyanese money in their overseas account. That's what I was told.
Okay, but do you know how you go about that, or
I think they send it to your account or what? I don't know.
Yeah. It could very well be by international transfer. You provide your SWIFT account number and all of that, and NIS do a bank-to-bank transfer.
Okay.
So you don't get your
Right.
money as yet?
No, I didn't get anything.
No, because he didn't want it to go in the person he authorized name. So he wanted to clarify before he continues the process.
Right. Because,
Yeah. So all the information I got, what I learned though in a lot of these organizations is that not everybody have all the information. And sometimes people right at NIS give you information that's not 100% accurate. And I learned that from dealing with a lot of different officers in NIS. Somebody tell you something, and then you realize when you get to somebody else, you realize they left out 20% of the information, and the 20% they left out is more pertinent than the 80% they gave you. So, but I understand that you could be paid directly in your own name, and it doesn't have to go through the third party who takes in the documents on your behalf.
You see, I was speaking to the customer service rep introduced me to a supervisor, and how she went about it was that it was written in stone. It's either this or that.
Yeah, well, that's not the information I got. Right?
Okay.
The information I got suggests that you can get your money paid to you.
All right, then I will try again.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much.
No, but don't try again that route. That route that you're using may not work. You're saying when the NIS gave you a check, when the NIS writes a check for John Jones, and you collect that check, you taking that check to the US, and a bank will change it. And the callers that came in subsequent and the people that spoke to us are saying that is not so.
Okay. So what they're saying then, if I give them my bank account and the
the SWIFT code of your bank, the address of your bank, your thing, they can send it to your account. That's what I was told.
Okay. Well, I know I got to try and get on to somebody there again, because when I'm on my submission, I did give them the bank account and the routing number. And then I don't know, for some reason or other, when they decided that the payments are started, that's what they came up, what I explained to you.
All right.
So,
if you would like me to look in, because what I did, I just asked general question around this. I didn't ask about your specific case. But if you would have already filed documents with NIS and you already started a process and you'd like me to check on it, specifically by your name, your NIS number, and so on, you could send me that information and I will submit it and ask for an answer.
Send you the information via what? This same number?
Yeah, on WhatsApp.
Okay.
All right?
Okay.
If you did not initiate the process, anyway, still send the information and I would ask about it and then give you a feedback. All right?
I had sent you some things on the WhatsApp, but I don't think you read them either. So I'm gonna
just send it back. Just send it back. Sometimes you won't like to see I get 20-30 messages one after the other, and you start going through them, and somebody call you, you're gone and do this, gone and do that, and then the message is gone down so far you don't think. Sometimes it's crazy like that, but send it back. Don't worry.
Okay. Okay. All right then. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah. continuing on the...
Somebody was trying to get through.
Yeah, well, they got a call back.
Look, they're calling back.
Hi, good evening.
Hi, good night. Mr. Greg, how are you doing?
Yeah, fine. You're on the program.
This is Alamuddin Khan. I'll call you for find out if things will bump up NIS. I send my information there, give you what I do here.
Yeah, what was your issue again? Just tell me quickly. Let me see if I could remember offhand.
I say I work 18 years in Guyana, in Sugar State, and I want to find out my contribution for me if I entitled of anything.
Yeah, when you check it out, you don't see anything.
No, I have no NIS card. I know I will cover no NIS card, but what happened? I have an ID card, but I send some information.
So you need to know. You need to know your NIS number, and then when you get the number, then you could get everything else.
NIS card. No, I have an old ID card, an old one. I know if that could work.
No. The first time ID card gone through.
Yeah, that's
from
that.
From the same WhatsApp, I send all my information. Give you.
Yeah, once you send all your information, it was passed on to NIS, and you provide any local number?
Yes, I put my local my phone number, everything from my
a Guyana number,
from your WhatsApp.
You got Guyana number there? Overseas?
No.
Well, it's not likely they're gonna call you directly overseas. They're gonna then have to contact you through me. I will have to check on it, but I can assure you, once your information came to me, what I do was just transfer it to a spreadsheet, and then I just feed it to NIS all the time, right? And sometimes they have to sit down, especially when you got missing contributions and so on. I could tell you at NIS, first thing, the computer system, the computer program that they use. I went to UG in the 90s, and I remember that computer program I see at NIS. I saw that was the program we used to use at UG, a kind of DBase 4 or it looks like, I don't know what's the program they use, but the screen, when you look at the screen, it looks like one of those old database programs. Jesus. And when you look at the printout that they gave, the printout is still in this type of type, a typewriter font, Courier or whatever you call it. That typewriter font that indicates it is one of those. I really don't know. It could very well be a very modern program, but just have an old interface. I don't know. But when you look on the screen, that is how it looks. And so I am thinking that NIS was having a hard time with speed. So it is not that your information or your thing will not be found or anything like that. Is that NIS is overwhelmed by the sheer quantity of information that is on paper, and you gotta understand that rats and cockroach must eat some of the paper, and over time, and they're transferring. You remember you gotta go back to the 70s, the 60s, and get all that information and then put it in a computer and all of that. So NIS is having that challenge. And sometimes you probably just gotta wait a little bit more, but I can assure you they're looking at your issue.
Okay, and one question. Sometime next year, I will be in Guyana, like April time. I can get contact with you and
surely. I will go into NIS with you.
Okay, no problem.
Yeah, because by now they should know my face well when I show up there. I feel sometimes like when I show up there, some of them just run and hide from me. But I'm just joking. I don't think so. I'm just joking.
Yeah, I have my brother in Guyana, but when he could check it out for me and say, I have to get my ID, my NIS card, that's one.
Yeah, you
But
should
I
come
Guyana said,
and plan to spend a good time so that you could apply for your ID card, you could get an ID card, and you could go in person, and you could do all that is required.
When you come in here, Paul, we can help you get your ID card, man.
Right? When you come, you contact us, and we'll help you out.
okay, thank you so much, man.
Good, buddy.
You're Freddie. Have a good night.
Good, buddy.
Thank you.
If there is no call, something just come to me. If there's no call,
No, go ahead.
but why the NIS don't set up a program like this, and people call into them and they take people number? Why you?
Occasionally they do, because I do hear this on HJ. I heard programs like that on HJ. I heard programs like that on one of those NCN channels already, but probably not consistently and often. Hey, good evening. You're onto the program.
Hi, pleasant good evening to you and your partner. Just 2 quick points for my contribution. I was listening to your interview with the legendary Ralph Ramkaran, and he would have offered a view where he would offer a view which I support, which I believe is the right thing, with respect to the GCOM commissioners. Anyway, the issue with the appointment of the leader of the opposition. Now, I believe this constitution reform and I do hope this constitution reform happen, because I have a fear that this constitution reform may be stalled in this storm again. But anyway, whenever this constitution reform comes up, whether it is this storm or next 10 years or wherever, they have to take certain powers away from individuals. Because we have people in Ghana who do things based upon their own feelings, on when they feel like. Because we have had the election since September 1. You have had this president swearing in. Of course, it took a very long time to convene the parliament. Now that the parliament has been convened, now you have the speaker throwing back and relaxing, and even determine when he feel like for calling the meeting, for appointing the leader of the opposition. That can never ever be right in any part of the world in any language. He can't just sit back and when he feel like then he can call a meeting for appointing the leader of the opposition. As a matter of fact, I believe that thing should be done the same day that the parliament that these politicians swear in. They don't do much today. They swear in. They do the swearing, and they have enough time after the swearing for just call a meeting with the opposition leader, with the opposition members, and appointing of the opposition. But anyway, that is what I'm saying. They have to take these things, the constitutional reform have to take this out of the hands of this. The speaker, he got too much power. He is doing the thing with his feelings. That will never ever be right. That can't be right. That is not democracy. The speaker is not an elected member of the National Assembly. The parliamentarians who are there, the people elect them to represent them. Not the speaker. He's there to mediate the things, not to control and run the thing like how we feel like. So that is a district. If Ghana democracy was making some progress, are we doing that right now?
Sir.
Democracy.
Sir.
Yeah.
I hope you are able to put these things to writing, and I hope you're able to appear before the committee when they invite public thing, because many of us come on these programs and we talk this and that and that, and when the public forum exists, we don't show up.
Well, there's probably other than the public forum, we have seen it because we are not seeing the
No, well then the Constitution Reform Commission gonna be convened shortly, and things are in process already. But all I'm saying, when public consultations start, many people who got many things to say don't show up and say.
Well,
and when that proper forum exists, I hope you go there.
there's certain things that and the same parliament thing. They have to put specific timings. We have election this day, and after so many days, the parliament must be convened. Now, when the president feels like that he convened the parliament, he waited the last.
Yeah, well, it is something bestowed upon us from our British past, you know. Anyway.
We were the British since 1966.
Yeah, I know, but a lot of the things were retained, you know.
Yeah, but the people, the way we are using it, doesn't really is the lawmakers intended to be. That the way we using it is that the way the people intended. People never expect that we will have a speaker throwing back, and when you feel it, then you have the people never intended it to be the way.
All right.
They never ever intended to be the way. Anyway, have a pleasant day.
Yeah, thanks for coming through. Yeah.
You see how selective he is? He said, he looked at the Ramkaran program, and what Ramkaran said, he believed in that the GCOM commissioners are appointed for life. But he didn't say Ramkaran said the right thing to do is to resign.
Is to resign, right. Good
evening, Colin.
Good evening. I would like to speak on behalf of my sister, Ramona Singh, who has a son by the name of Billy Gopi, who has been missing for the past 15 days.
And where is that?
Also my sister recently lost a child 2 years ago. Now here is the thing, Mr. Kissoon. My sister reported the matter to the Tumeri police station. It's been 15 days, and since then, there is no word from the police. All what we've heard so far, they're going to run the government cameras. No word in. When my sister go back to the police station, their attitude is so nasty. This child is just about 25, 26 years. When this child,
is a male or female?
It is a male, and I would appreciate it if you guys can just announce it, whereas by somebody see him, knows him. His name is Rick.
Is the young man mentally challenged?
No, the child went home, and the child told his mother, I'm going on the road. And this child is living in Suzdai of the east bank of Demerara. He told his mother that he's going to go on the road, and the child never returned. Now this is 15 days.
All right. Hear what? Can you send on this WhatsApp a photograph of the boy, his full name, his date of birth?
And we could have put it up on the screen.
And the name of his mother and a contact number.
Thank you so much, Mr. Kissoon. I really, really appreciate it, because my sister lost one child already. She cannot afford to lose another child.
All right. If you had sent us that thing, we would have put it up. Look, you know as well as I do, and this whole country, the police force can be extremely disappointing. But ladies, send us the young man's photograph, and
his photograph, name, date of birth, and a local contact number for his mother or whomever else. Away. Yes, good.
Yes, definitely. Thank you so much for taking my call.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Sometimes, if these people are truthful in what they're saying, sometimes these police force are really, really cruel and insensitive, man. If somebody's missing, that person could be kidnapped, they could be killed. The 15 days of nothing doing. Look.
Hey, good evening. You're on to the program.
Hello?
Yeah, turn on your device.
Yes, no, brother.
Yeah. Thanks for coming.
Freddie, good night, and I'll get type with your name. Good night.
Yeah.
Always get tired with the man name. The man got a very globally common name, Leonard and Craig.
Yeah, Leonard, yes.
You know the James Bond man, Craig? What Craig is his name? Daniel Craig?
All right, go ahead, sir.
Oh, hi, good night.
Hello?
Go ahead.
I'm Mr. Leonard Craig. Good night to you and good night to Freddie. You guys are doing a wonderful job. I listen to you guys very often, as much as I can, and I gain a lot from your program. Also, I do have an issue with my NIS, and I think I sent you a WhatsApp message, and I tried calling you, and then I sent a reminder. And I didn't get a response from you. Actually, what happened is that I was working at Guy Super in West State, and I worked there a number of years. And after I've left, and I qualified, I reached age 60. I did some follow up as to what my contributions are, and I believe strongly that I am qualified for a pension, and as pension, that I have obtained more than 750 contributions, or I have made more than 750 contributions. And I asked them for, printout of my contributions, and on a number of occasions, and on each occasion, the number keeps changing that they're giving me.
Is getting higher or lower?
One time it went lower. And then it went back higher.
The latest one is higher. The latest one showing you how many contributions?
Right now, as of October last year, the total number of contributions after all the revisions, as of that date, October 2024, it reached 746.
So you off by 4 contributions?
According to LIS, yes.
Okay. All right. Let's assume that is where it stays. Isn't there a voluntary contribution scheme that you could pay before you reach 60? I think there is. You could pay before
but I have attained age 60 already.
Oh.
So what I'm asking is for
what I could tell you though, I don't remember this case specifically, but I can assure you that all the cases I receive, I don't know if I missed any. I meticulously went through, got all of them.
Leonard, I don't think you have followed up with mine because I didn't see any response from you, and I don't think we got anywhere with mine.
Okay. So, here what to do. Send me back tonight. Just a sentence reminding me, and I will respond to you by tonight self. When I get home, I'll sit down and look at it, and I'll let you know if it is one of the cases that was passed on. But I can assure you I passed on all the cases, even though I may not have said 1, 2, or 3. I passed on the information. And as soon as I hear back anything, I will respond. What NIS does though is I think the people who are getting the greatest difficulty are the people overseas, because once I pass something on to NIS and people got a local number, when NIS got a solution, they will call them.
Okay.
And they will just call me and let me know that, hey, we spoke with this person and this was the solution we arrived at. But I guess people with overseas numbers is a little more difficult for NIS. But I just send me a reminder and I will include it and pass it on.
Okay, good, great. You guys continue to do it. To do a good job, man. Sorry about that. I got yes. Thanks a lot, Leonard. Thanks,
buddy.
Freddie.
Thanks for coming through. There's a particular case that was solved that I would like to.
We had a break of transmission.
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah, as we speaking. I'm a businessman, and these people are talking about the money spending on the lawyers from Jamaica. I would spend $1 million US to gain $5 million US. Because remember, the 500 million that Mohammed robbed the country.
Allegedly.
You have to spend to gain.
All right. This is my view on the hiring of the lawyers and Guyana paying for it. Number one, this is what happens everywhere there's an extradition request.
Yes.
This is normal. It happened in Guyana before. We extradite people before. Guyana requests extradition of people from the US to Guyana, and the same thing happened. The US pay their own lawyers to get the person to go through the legal process, and then Guyana pays to transport them and so on. So number one, this is the normal thing that always happen.
I know that.
Number two, the quantum of money spent on a lawyer is usually equivalent with the profile of the case.
Yeah.
If you have one of these high profile cases, you're not expected to go at the bottom house and take a lawyer.
No.
Right? So that's one. That's number two. Number three, extradition process has something to do with international relations. And you can't put a price tag on our relationship with the US.
No.
Right? The amount you're paying the lawyer, you could pay for the protection that the US is going to give us if Venezuela attack us tomorrow. You could pay for that protection. Certain things are priceless. The relationship we have with the US, the international relationship that we currently have with the US, you can't put a price tag to it. So America sends a request. You take the best lawyers that you believe can acquiesce to the request, and that is just what you do. And so some of these things that people are putting a price tag to, it's just ridiculous.
No, but the government have to invest to gain back.
Right. And and the point is, even if they don't, because for all you know, Azruddin Mohammed and his father could go to the US, take a good lawyer, high-priced lawyer in the US, and that lawyer looks through the case and find a technicality, gets them off, and Guyana doesn't get any money or anything from it. So it is more than just paying a lawyer $1,000 to get back $5,000. It is more than that. It is the international relations. It is all these things, the norms and so on that we have to look at. And some of these things, you can't put a price tag on it. So to say Guyana paying a lawyer $62,000 US to fight this case every 6 weeks or every 2 months or whatever is the period of time, I mean, it's just ridiculous.
Yeah, they do the right thing. They did the right thing to take foreign lawyers. There's one.
Yeah, and the AG, I heard an explanation from the AG to say that, look, Guyana, people put lawyers in political boxes, and to remove, because it's a high profile political case, so to remove the local lawyers from that
have the experience,
and not just the experience. We got some good lawyers here that could think, but then when you got a neutral legal ensemble, you know,
We never got
you can
proper justice.
dispassionately, the
But do
lawyers
you
could
know-
dispassionately.
You know what will happen to those local lawyers? They could even face life-threatening.
Yeah.
You know who you're
Yes,
dealing.
yes.
You know who you're dealing with there.
Yeah.
Those people.
I believe the government is in a very, very good place where this is concerned. But what I notice with the opposition these days, they oppose for oppose sake and not for the sense
But that's
in the opposition.
That's the nature of the total anti-government school, be it civil society, be it private media. It's my job to read the newspapers, read online news. There hasn't been an editorial of the Starbuck News from the time the Ali government come into power in 2020. There hasn't been one editorial that has praised a direction or a policy of the Ali presidency. People just oppose for the sake of opposing.
Yeah. And that is the thing that is eroding the opposition support, because this new batch of people that are beginning to tune into political news and political conversations are people who make dispassionate decisions and listen to the different sides. And when they hear somebody, I remember one time Dr. Luncheon was speaking at Starbrook Square, and he was outlining some policies of the then government. I mean, at the time, I stood in opposition to Dr. Luncheon and others. And but though I was in opposition, I went out there. It was at Starbrook Square open day, and I went to listen. And I was listening, and as he was speaking, they had a couple of ladies in the crowd, and everything he said, they just said, "Damn nonsense." Damn nonsense.
That still goes on.
And that is all they were saying. Right?
Anyway, so thanks for coming through.
And basically that is what the opposition is doing. They're not offering, and you were talking about Terence Campbell earlier. Basically that's what Terence Campbell is doing, is heckling. And when you're the parliamentary lead for a historic political party, you got to remove yourself from heckling. You got to let Sherrod Duncan heckle, because Sherrod Duncan is of that ilk. But this man heckling himself, I mean, and that is what is passing for opposition in this country.
You don't understand? You're going to call.
Hey, good evening.
Hello?
Good evening. You're onto the program.
Yeah, good evening.
Yeah.
But Leonard, you're justifying the spending of the money for the foreign lawyers. Fine taking. But don't you think that $62 million, what would have done for the Tiger Bay people that we see on
$62,000 US. $62,000 US. That's what I read in the newspaper. I don't know
about 62 million. It's not
right. I don't know. But that is the sum that I saw in the newspaper. $62,000 US.
That is a fee for the entire fee, or that's just a fee for just for one session?
The truth is, if I tell you the truth, because of so much noise around this thing, I did not zero in on whether it is the entire fee. But what I saw in the letter is there is a request for this money to pay the lawyers, and it had no time. I didn't see any time on it. So I don't know for sure if there would be additional fees, because if I did consultancy before, and when you do consultancy, you have a base fee. And then depends on what you encounter during the consultancy, you then present your invoice for whatever else. I don't know if that is the arrangement, or I don't know if it's one cover charge or whatever. I can't give my mouth liberty on that.
So these liars, every time that the case comes, they have to sign from Jamaica, stay probably somewhere in the Mart or somewhere, and so if this case takes 2 years or till next year, the Treasury have to keep paying these liars.
I don't know, but this the same thing I would say that I said to the other caller. We are trying to attach a price tag.
I understand.
What you're trying to do is to do what we call in economics, what was the term again? Like when you get an alternative, the opportunity cost. You're trying to calculate, but your opportunity cost is misdirecting.
I am saying, what I'm saying, I am saying there are hundreds of Ghanaians that could have done that case. That's what I'm saying.
And you go to come on this very program and talk about this lawyer bias, that lawyer bias.
Let me say this. We may pay daily for all the money we wasting. The Lord bless us with some money now, and the wastes that we are doing, maybe one day Ghana will pay for it.
Okay.
Thanks for
coming through. Again, I'm saying, why are we considering it wastage? Anyway, good evening. You're onto the program.
Hey, good night. I got a question. When you need electricity for your house, do you have to present title to GPL to acquire?
Yes. As far as I know, yes.
Yes, as far as I know, when I built my house, yes, I had to show I own the place.
Okay, well, good. Point taken. The other thing is that then how is it a man conducting a multi-million-dollar business on a public infrastructure at Windsor Forest Sluice? How is it that he gets electricity?
Well, you have to tell us what is the situation and don't ask us how we got. We don't know.
Well,
but if you want our assistance, if you want, hold on, sir. Well, let me set this thing straight. If you want our assistance, you got to come and say to us, outline that somebody is on a public piece of land that he can't possibly get transport for, and he get electricity, whatever. But you are asking me how we get. I don't know how we get it, and you're inviting me to dismiss you, and which I don't want to do. So come straight with me, man.
Okay, good. So the guy that occupied with the forest sluice that sells the Gilbaka, how he got electricity, but a man in a squatting area who has 5 children going to school, cannot get electricity for them to do.
All right, hold on. You're saying again. I'm telling you. Don't ask me why is it. Me no know why is it. All I am saying to you, if you want our assistance...
I don't think he's asking you specifically. I mean, that's the way Guyanese speak. Mm-hmm. How do you explain a man get this and another man and get? I don't think he wants you to give it.
Right.
All right. I hear you, Freddie, and I hear you, sir. But hear this. I just for clarification, you're saying that a man he bringing in fish, and he's selling it on the dam, and they got GPL service run on this dam to his business spot. And
exactly, the man occupied the forest sluice. That is the public infrastructure. He got a big supermarket going on. That's $1 million business. And a man in a squatting area cannot get the electricity for his kids to do their homework in the night. They got to steal electricity. Is that fair?
Which squatting area is this?
Any squatting area,
you're talking about squatting area generally.
Because
once you're squatting, you don't get
electricity. I know a squatting area where people got electricity.
If the government regularize it.
Right, that is if they regularize
it. Or if it is earmarked for regularization, then the government will allow GPL to go in and give power, because the deed is literally done, if you understand what I'm saying. The decision was made.
I think most squatting areas got electricity, man.
Okay, one more point. I got to make one more point. Now, I see they make a nice big, nice, fancy market at Leonora and move all the vendors and put them there. But you know what's happening now? Gradually, the vendors are coming back onto the street and they're lining the street. Soon they could be onto the public road again, like how it used to be before.
I haven't been there, but they're doing that. They're doing that.
Yes,
I see that happen in other
now
places,
they're occupying
but
that.
I haven't been there. I don't know what.
Okay, so you may be right. You may be right. They built a market at Perica, and nobody's going in it.
Yeah,
they're staying on the road.
Yeah,
and I went to that Perica market and it's empty.
What is allocate the highway along the highway, give the people let them put up business, because people like do business in the street. And it's unfair to people who are paying taxes, who are paying license, who got a business in the bottom house. Let them come out on the street as well. And let the whole country do business along the street, like what happened in Thailand.
You know? All right. You got any other point you want to make?
Good, thank you, man. That's it.
Yeah, buddy. Thanks for coming through. What's got to happen in Guyana, right? What we do, we just do things and then expect we gotta have additional programs to orient people. Because if every day your custom walk in here, buy your things and go home, and then all these vendors gone in a market, how many yards away from there, it is no longer in your routine. You feel off. You don't go in there for, it's off the beaten path. And so when we do these things and make these changes, I think we got to have accompanying programs to reorient people. Hi, good evening, buddy. Thanks for coming through.
Yeah, bro. Here I got a problem here, buddy. My problem is that I cannot understand why a percentage of the Guyanese people wants to promote criminality. The fact remains, if a man do a crime, it doesn't matter which part of the war we bring a liar for, right?
Mm-hmm.
The man has done a crime.
Yeah.
The man needs to be prosecuted.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter who prosecutes this man, right? At the end of the day, Chief, we gotta understand one thing. If it was a normal poor man outside there who had to be extradited for a crime he did in the US, nobody wanna be crying. When people making them money in this country, they ain't got time for poor people, right? When they're in trouble, they're running for people to help them, to support them. The point I'm making, sir, is that whether they come from Jamaica, or they come from Angola, or they come from Zimbabwe, or they come from Saudi Arabia, or wherever they come from, they came to prosecute you because you have committed crimes against the state. Not only the state, but you have committed crimes in the United States of America. The fact remains is that we're selling a narrative in this country. I mean, social media activists and everybody selling a narrative and say, hey, you know what? The government of Guyana prosecuting this man. The government of Guyana oppressing this family. The government, but this has nothing to do with the government of Guyana. This thing is clear. It is pellucid. It should be understood. You know. Yeah. I know what I can't understand, and I talk to my Uncle Freddie now. You know, we lecturing at UG, we lecturing at CPC. We are teachers. We do things wrong in our job. We got issues. We might be disciplined, and I think. The time has come for something in this country, gentlemen, that there needs to be what is called an ethics commission, right? We have been tolerating a judiciary far too long, gentlemen. A judiciary who does not judge according to the law, right? Something is wrong with the judgments in some of these high-profile cases. I mean, seriously, gentlemen, without calling names, are we going to say that it is legitimate for somebody's taxes not to be reassessed when you have thousands of cases in the world where taxes are being reassessed and people are prosecuted?
Many movie stars have gone to jail.
Yeah. you got the cases in Hollywood. You got the cases in the Indian film industry.
Why you going so far? You have me. Koshitsatal asked me to reassess. One of the poorest public sector worker that I'm teaching at UG asked me to come for my
your property
taxes.
When you don't have $40 million in property,
I didn't.
You know the thing that
The guy now in
aches
history with me.
the thing that aches me, gentlemen, is that you have to understand the nature of Guyanese people. I mean, there's so much ineptitude in people as it relates to their judgment. You know, it's like, oh, the police should arrest this man, but the police should arrest a poor man. The police should arrest a man who's well endowed and, you know, who did business and wasn't clean.
The man want to walk into the station like a king.
Yeah, but the point is, what you think I could ride into any police station in this country without a number plate for me motorbike and without a helmet? They're going to arrest me and charge me 5 charges, right? But you going to the highest forum in this country, the legislature of this country, and you carrying a vehicle that is uninsured, no number plates, anything, and that vehicle has dispute. It's an affront to the law, brother. It's an affront to the law.
Listen, Carla, hold on. When Azuddin Mohammed went to Parliament, that car didn't have a license plate?
Well, from all pictures you don't see no license plate, sir. There's no license plate visible in the car. I mean, a lot of people in the country right now, I mean, if the police check the cameras, a lot of people just block the license plate for no reason at all. And it seems to be a normal thing that, you know, if people blocking a license plate and because you drive in a fancy car and I drive in a Toyota, right? The problem is me Toyota can't get the same risk as you fancy car. Gentlemen, the thing is, this country has got to wake up. We got to promote equality at all levels, whether it's police, whether it's law, whether it's religion, whether it's, you know, anything. But I'm saying it's time for us to reassess the judiciary in this country.
But something.
Far too long we have had judgments.
Stay in the line. Something coming up. And I think this thing that is coming up is going to be heartbreaking, and some of us will have to speak out. The Ministry of Public Works said they want to stop encumbrance on the parapets and the roadways. But that policy has to be
across the board.
Do you know Banks DIH? From the time you come out of East Bank and you swing Meadowbank there, that whole parapet, the parapet,
you can't
Banks DIH put cones in it.
You can't park there.
The public and today Banks DIH call the police on vendors outside Demico. If you're going to move, you know how much people got big stones and all kind of thing in the parapet that if the ambulance pass in and the ambulance can't make a shit, if they're going to move encumbrance, they have to do for everybody, man. Everybody.
I agree. We got clean the parapets, gentlemen.
They got people got gardens on the parapet.
But people marking no parking sign without permission in this country.
We put things 3 years ago on the screen where a house take the parapet at Leluni and Peterborough Street. The whole parapet has a big garden. Garden in it.
I mean, the thing, gentlemen, look, we got to be fair and square to everybody. Fairness and justice got prevail for every single individual in this country, guys, a class, race, religion, and status.
Do you know some people put cordons on parapet? So if you move in an encumbrance on a parapet, somebody selling dog food in a parapet, and you move in that, so there's no encumbrance. Next to the veterinary surgeon Waldron, somebody built a big house and cordon off the whole parapet. That's encumbrance.
You have to remove, if you're removing one person thing, you gotta remove everybody thing off the road, buddy. Right?
That same encumbrance project that they're moving things, and I hope it is carried out with decency and without class prejudice.
Yeah,
and fair and just. You know?
And I hope that it is planned in such a way that it is not sporadic.
No, it must happen across all regions.
You move some people,
and then you lay back and then people just go back and and stuff like that. I hope that is not what they're doing. I hope it's a long-term plan.
I hope they define what is incumbents before they start to do it. Define what incumbents
It's already
means.
in the law. They could only uphold what's in the law.
Incumbents can't be a man put a whole set of blocks on a parapet so nobody can park. And that is not incumbents. But a man selling the dog food on the parapet, that is incumbents. Something got to be wrong there with the definition of incumbents.
Yeah.
We gotta be fair.
Yeah.
I mean, present day Ghana.
Why nobody moving those cones by banks CIH? If you get a tire blow out, you can pull up on the parapet. The parapet that made the bank and the public road.
No, but it's not banks alone. It's a lot of these conglomerates doing this thing. A lot of these big businesses doing this thing.
It's happening in front of the Mohammeds too, right now.
Yeah, you can't park in no way.
Right now as we speak.
Yeah, I mean, you got to move all these encumbrances.
That incumbents thing is going to be fraught with trouble.
Yeah, I
those
think
billionaires.
What is needed is a systematic thing. You talk with people, you make a plan, and so when you move through, right? Some communities might even need rezoning in that, and it happens all over the world. In some communities, you can't park on certain areas in the parapet; it's forbidden. But then you got to make wider streets.
But what I don't understand is why the police force, the people who should be leading the removal of those things, the police force. I live in the area and I see, Jordan, if the police chasing somebody or if there's a crowd the street, the ambulance or the police can't move aside and drive in the parapet. Once at a big incumbents.
You ever visualize the police chasing somebody down the street or down Lombard Street?
And added to that, we got to get some new parking rules, for example. Like in the US, some hours of the day you could only park on the left side. Another thing we got to do, we got to change the law so that when you park, you must face in the direction of the road, the traffic flow.
Do you know?
So sometimes we park in the traffic flow on the left side is this way, and we come in from the right and park. All of those things got to be.
We have a great opportunity with the Reform Commission.
I have no problem. I have no problem. Somebody
to get these things done.
I have no problem with somebody with 20 drums in front of their driveway. You can't park in front of the driveway.
Right.
But how you could put 20 drums on the parapet?
The parapet is not yours.
No, well, I get that problem every now and then. For example, if I go down Regent Street, right? You go down in front of certain stores on Regent Street, they put up some big barrel or they put up something because maybe the owner got to come and park there. And while the owner is not there, they put up these things.
But who grants permission for no parking in Georgetown?
And so sometimes if I go around town to do shopping or whatever, and I'm on Regent Street and I need parking, if parking is available, I use it. But if it is not available, and you got those things on the road, I come out my vehicle, physically move it, and park.
You know what I did? I called the police and hand in hand. I called the police and hand in hand, got a sign, no parking for the public. And I just moved the sign and park. The security came out, and I must say.
You know what's the most curious part of this thing? You ever tried parking next to a commercial bank to get into the bank?
Anyway, look, so time going.
Yeah, thanks for coming.
Thanks for coming.
Let me go. You all guys have a good night. Bye.
Yeah. I support the movement, but it gotta be systematic. Good night. Thanks for coming through.
Good night. I just can't get a follow for it. Me complain.
You want to follow up, or you're calling to give me a follow?
But they calling you about 5 weeks now. They calling and give a complaint about me and NIS.
And what was your issue?
NIS, we win the case and they appeal.
Oh my, so this is about the fourth time you call us about that. That there's nothing we can do about that.
The case that you that's the case with Christopher Ram.
Yeah, and the AG, the government appeal it.
You tell me to send the document and give you my number.
Oh no! At the time when I told you that, I did not know of the detail. I didn't know it was the Christopher Ram case. I didn't know it went to court. I thought the matter was just one.
That matter is in front of the court,
and then it was one, and then NIS was refusing to honor it. That is what I thought at the time. But we later got more information that the matter is still before the court.
The government.
What you can do, what I can advise you to do, is appeal directly to the president. Write a letter directly to the president explaining your situation.
But the president would not be able to intervene.
No, but the president can ask the AG
to withdraw
it is a government appealing the case. Just as how the president did that for other people in other cases already. You remember the Quindon Bacchus case? The president told the AG,
But I understand that the money that NIS should be paying you, Christopher Ram is paying you.
He paid me my monthly NIS, but the back money, he not pay me the back money. It's 15 years now, me back money left back.
All right, so thanks for coming through.
Yeah, but just understand, we did look at that matter, and that is not something we could, not even NIS could do anything for you with that, because it's in the court. My estimation is, the way I understand how things work, is that only the president might be able to help you. Appeal to the president, let the president look into the matter, and he can then satisfy himself that the matter should continue, or that he can coalesce with the AG and have it.
One has to understand the plight of this gentleman. We understand his plight. But there's a bigger picture there. I think the government is afraid of the floodgates. You see, if you bring a paper to prove that you were working at Xanadu Company, and Xanadu Company didn't
right, and then they disappear.
You just get anyway. So thanks for coming too. Bye bye. Okay, bye bye. Yeah, I think.
If I was in his position, I'd want to cry too. Because
it doesn't sound right on the surface.
But in legal terms, yeah. Hey, good evening.
Please lower your volume, sir. Hello?
All right.
Hello?
Hi, good evening.
We spoke earlier concerning the missing person.
Yeah.
So I sent the information of the young man. His name is Billy Gopi. And I would just like to add, for any relevant authority who's listening to this program, can you please reach out to Mary Police Station? The people of that village really need somebody to look into that specific police station, to Mary Police Station.
Okay, we're going to put the boys, if you send his image to Leonard Craig, we're going to put it on the screen next week.
Yes, I just sent it.
Okay.
I just sent it. And he's been missing for 15 days.
All right. So
please.
What I'll do, I'll call the police station to verify what you said. And then once it's verified, the Guyanese Critic page, I'll try to talk to the people who manage that page, and we can post his image and his thing. But we got to verify it first with the police, right? We can't just take your word for it. Understood?
So I also sent you the information The family we also put out a reward for any person with information of $500,000. We already post that up also on Facebook. And his name is Rickford Gopi, and I'm going to send you the name also.
All right, but please understand that we got to do it the right way, right? Because first time we're hearing of it, and we don't know.
Exactly, because the police did not send out an official information to any of the news media.
So, as I'm saying,
the family.
Okay.
We, the family, now have to do back and do things our way, because we have gave the police 15 days to do their job.
Okay, madam.
All right.
As
we said, we will.
Our program has come to an end. Our operator say we a minute over time.
All right.
Thanks for coming through. We put the boy's image on the thing. Our operator said that's it. I normally count from 1 to 10. One last call. One
person is on here. Hey, good evening.
We gotta do it the right way.
You got to lower the volume, and this is the last call, so come quickly.
Hello. Good evening. Yeah.
Yeah, very quickly, sir.
Yeah, Mr. Kissoon, I'm just asking, advocating, why don't you, with all this, the guy who called earlier who was talking about the law and the courts and all these things, why don't you invite the Azruddin Mohammed and this car without the insurance? Why don't you invite the Attorney General? I would like to ask him a few questions. Invite him next Monday or some Monday on your program.
Okay, we can ask him. We can ask him to do a call.
You keep making a mistake throughout the program. The people that are the people that the government hire.
We got to go, sir. We got to go. We got to go. We got to go. There'll be 2 minutes over time.
All right. Thanks for coming, Joe. Yeah.
Okay, we 2 minutes over time. We can't. We gotta respect our operators' time. So that's it. We had a full house. Not much time to Leonard and I to exchange anything. We will see you on Wednesday when we either have a guest or Leonard Craig and I will do our analysis of the contents of Guyana. Thanks for being with us this Monday evening. Be careful on the road tomorrow. The traffic is terrible. One hopes that soon we get some solution to this traffic problem, but we need a solution to reckless, irresponsible, sadistic driving on the road. On behalf of our operators and my co-host Leonard Craig, we're signing off. Catch you later. Bye-bye. Leonard Craig, we're signing off. Catch you later.